Hello, dear children. Welcome to another interesting session of English grammar. In today's session, we shall look at sentence and learn about its two parts, that is, subject and predicate. So, let's get started. Now, you all know what you mean by a sentence. A sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense and expresses a complete thought. Sentences always begin with a capital letter and end with a punctuation mark, like full stop if it is a statement or an imperative sentence, question mark if it's an interrogative sentence, and exclamation mark if it is an exclamatory sentence. So, based on these three punctuation marks, we understand the type of the sentence. Now, let's look at some examples of sentence. The birds are flying. Here, the sentence makes complete sense. It begins with a capital T and ends with a full stop. Have you finished your homework? Here again, the group of words makes sense. It begins with a capital H and ends with a question mark. What a beautiful day. This again is a sentence. Since it is meaningful, it begins with a capital W and ends with an exclamatory mark. Now let's move on to the parts of a sentence. Every sentence has two parts. Subject, which is a who or what the sentence is all about, and predicate, what the subject is or does. Let's try to understand them in detail. Now, what is a subject? Subject is that part of a sentence that tells us who or what is doing the action. Usually, it is a noun or a pronoun. Here are some examples. Ravi plays football. Now, in this sentence, we know that the boy Ravi is playing football. So, the person who is performing this action is Ravi, and hence Ravi is the subject. The flowers are blooming. Now, over here, what is blooming? The flowers. So, the flowers is the subject. My mother cooked dinner. Here, who is performing the action? It is my mother. So, my mother is the subject. So, in these three sentences, we have seen Ravi, the flowers, and my mother. They are performing an action and hence they are the subject in these sentences. So, let's see what is a predicate then. A predicate is that part of the sentence that tells us what the subject does or what happens to the subject. It includes a verb and all related words. A very easy way to understand what a predicate is, predicate usually begins with the verb and then it takes along with it all the related words. Now here are some examples, the same examples which we had seen earlier. Ravi plays cricket. Earlier example we saw Ravi is performing the action. What action is he performing? Playing cricket. So plays cricket is the predicate. The flowers are blooming. The flowers are is the subject. We have just seen that. So what are the flowers doing? They are blooming. Are blooming is the predicate. My mother cooked dinner. My mother is a subject. What is she doing? She is cooking dinner. So cooked dinner is a predicate. So in all these sentences we have seen the predicate begins with a verb and then it takes along with it all the other words related to it. Now here are some more examples. Let's look at them and try to find out what is the subject and the predicate. The baby is crying. Who is crying? The baby. So the baby is a subject. What is the baby doing? Is crying. It's the predicate then. Second sentence, I love ice cream. Who loves ice cream? I. And what do we come to know about I? I loves ice cream. So love ice cream is the predicate. Third sentence, The stars are shining brightly. Who is shining brightly? The stars. So the stars is the subject. What are the stars doing? Are shining brightly. So it is the predicate. They went to the zoo. Who went to the zoo? They. So they is a subject, and what did they do? Went to the zoo is a predicate. So in all these sentences we find that the subject is the noun or the pronoun. They usually perform an action or something is happening to them, or we come to know something more about the subject. So such words are known as a subject, and what they are doing or what is being said about the subject forms the predicate of the sentence. Now remember children, there are some sentences known as imperative sentences. Imperative sentences can be commands or requests. Now suppose if it's a command, then remember we don't see the subject there directly, but we understand that the subject is you. Let's try to understand it with the examples. Sit down. Now here in the sentence sit down, there is no subject. We don't know who is sitting down. So here the subject is invisible, but we understand that you is a subject. We assume that you is a subject there. So it's an order and we take you as a subject, and sit down will become the predicate. Close the window. Again there is no subject. So we consider you as a subject, and close the window will become the predicate. Don't be late. Again there is no subject. So we assume it to be you. That will become the subject, and don't be late is the predicate. So remember, when we have imperative sentences where you don't find the subject directly, then we take it as you as a subject, and the remaining part of the sentence will become the predicate. Here are some more sentences. Let's identify the subject and the predicate. The teacher is writing on the board. So what is the subject here? The teacher. And what is the predicate? What is the teacher doing? Is writing on the board. So subject, the teacher. Predicate, is writing on the board. Dogs bark at strangers. Who barks at strangers? Dogs. So dogs is the subject. What does the dogs do? Bark at strangers. So it becomes a predicate. Open your books. Now here we don't know to whom the sentence is referred to. The subject is absent over here. So as I told earlier, it's an imperative sentence, and hence we assume the subject as you, and open your books will become the predicate. Rani can sing well. Who can sing well? Rani. So Rani is the subject, and what can she do? She can sing well. So can sing well is the predicate. So here are some more examples. Let's try to quickly find the subject and the predicate. The sun rises in the east. What is the subject? Yes, the sun. What does the sun do? Rises in the east. It's the predicate. Children love stories. Who loves stories? Children. And what do children love? Love stories. So children subject, love stories predicate. Shut the door. It's again an imperative sentence. Here the subject is not visible. So subject will be taken as you. And the remaining part of the sentence, that is shut the door, is the predicate. My cat sleeps all day. What is the subject here? My cat. And what does the cat do? Sleeps all day. That becomes the predicate. Always remember, the subject answers the question of what or who. Okay. And the predicate tells us what the subject is performing or what is being told about the subject. So what did we understand in this video? Let's summarize quickly. We understood that every sentence is made of a subject and a predicate. What is a subject? Subject is the who or what the sentence is all about. And then what is a predicate? Predicate is what is said about the subject. So once you understand the nuances of subject and predicate, it will help you to understand and improve your reading, writing and grammar skills. So hope you have understood the concept of subject and predicate very well. So dear children, in case if you have any questions about the same topic, then you feel free to ask in the comment section and I'll be very happy to clarify any doubts that you may have. So thank you all for watching this video. Hope your concept of subject and predicate is very clear. Thank you once again. Bye.